Peter, I wanted to ask you, I know you've been talking this morning, and you talked at a lot of the events we've been at, about the arguments for and the arguments against the idea of the existence of God. Do you think they still have a place in our discussions, given that many people believe what they believe for social reasons, for psychological and historical reasons? Do you think those arguments are still worth rehearsing and exploring?
Yes, and the reason is precisely because most people believe for cultural reasons, most people don't think it's worth addressing the questions, think the purpose of life is to be happy, there's no meaning to life, and I think the question of God questions whether that is in fact the case. So I think the question is worth exploring simply because the question matters. One day, whoever's listening to this is going to die, you and I are going to die, you're fit at the moment, you're going to watch your wife die, and there are issues that are fundamental to what it is to be human. And if we neglect these, I think we're neglecting something very important. I'm not sure the arguments for the existence of God succeed or fail. One of the reasons I'm very critical of Richard Dawkins is he has a certainty that I think isn't justified by his position. Could he be right? Could he be right that life is meaningless, that we don't have any freedom, we're the robot vehicles blindly programmed to preserve the selfish molecules known as genes? Yes, he could. But there is an equally plausible case on the other side, that life has meaning and purpose, and I think the arguments for the existence of God raise those issues.
That sounds to me, and I think that's very compelling as an argument, and I think you're seeming to suggest that there's something valuable about the process of exploring those arguments.
Yes.
And it enlightens us somewhat about what belief means.
Yes, it does. But I also think, I mean, just biographically, I wasn't bright enough to go to university when I left school, and I became a chartered accountant. I was quite successful early on, and I did very well in business. I was chairman of Mercedes Distributorship. But at some stage, you have to say, what the heck are we here for? Is it just to have the latest car, which will be a rust heap in 15 years' time? Is it to have the latest relationship, which may or may not fail? The things most people prize so much tend to be ephemeral. Is that the only meaning there is, or is there something else? And I think those questions are important. They've been important throughout history, and in a post-truth world, they're more important than ever.
Absolutely.